That's better.
There we go.
Ah.
Yeah, what was that about?
Don't know. I think maybe I was just trying to press too, when you press too many buttons, that kind of thing.
I love your technical explanation for what went wrong. I pushed too many buttons.
Yeah. Do you know, it's funny because my first ever job was in a tech environment. I was very out of my comfort zone.
Oh my Lord.
I know. I never stuck with it, clearly. It was interesting. I always think, what if I'd followed that path? That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, but it doesn't sound like you.
No. Hey ho. Who knows?
Yeah.
How are you today? You feeling better?
I'm actually sitting up straight, which is, something. Yeah, I feel loads better. I had a shitty day yesterday. It's been up and down. It's so weird. Somebody said they think it's COVID, but everybody says every sniffle is COVID. It's not. Wednesday I felt really good and I did loads, and Chris said to me, slow down. He said, you always do this. I'm like, yeah, but I feel good and I think it's over and I can do this. So I did like all the things that have been building up, and then yesterday I just fell off the edge of a cliff and was like that all day again. But today I've woken up feeling good because I took it easy yesterday. So
why did you not listen to his very sound advice?
Well, because it was so. Obviously, I don't like being ill. I don't do being ill. I'm not very good at being ill. And there were things I wanted to get on with. And I was so relieved to feel good and to feel like I've got energy and to feel that I can do things that I want. I just got on and it's not like physical. I didn't paint the house or go cut the goat's nails or something, but I was just at my computer, I suppose mentally using a lot of energy. That's probably what it was. And just got loads of work done at my computer and loved it. And then in the evening, sort of started going downhill, and then woke up yesterday and just thought, oh my Lord, I did too much. And he did wag his finger and say, I told you so.
So do you think you did too much because you weren't fully recovered? Is that it? Or is this a pattern that goes on more?
No, I think I did too much and I wasn't fully recovered. I was just so enjoying feeling better that I enjoyed the things I did and I wanted to do the things I did. And it felt really easy at the time and it felt fine. But in hindsight, and he says I always do this, which is interesting because you don't really notice things about yourself. In hindsight, I probably should have done half, or just sort of chilled a little, because I'm still ill.
So talk me through. Well, actually, before you do that, where's your scale today? I'm just going to perch on a stool.
Where am I today?
Your scale, yeah.
Oh, my scale. I did do one on Tuesday, didn't I? I think I'm still 7.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I feel, and it's quite nice to feel 7. I mean, I don't, immediately a voice in my head is saying, oh, I should have been high up the scale by now, and maybe 7's, but 7 for me is pretty good. I'm really enjoying this, the bottom of the pyramid, and feeling solid in myself.
Good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right. I just realised as you said that. Annie, bear with me a second. I just want to grab a pad that I've got loads of them here. Do I have one handy? What's this one? What's this?
Oh, that looks quite nice.
What's nice?
No, I'm just looking at, I haven't seen my mug. This is another mug that I made, but I hadn't seen what it looks like.
When did you make that?
And the mirror. A few months ago. Oh my God, you should see the first. You should see the first one I made. This is the 3rd mug I've ever I've ever made.
The green glaze is really nice colour.
It's actually yellow.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's actually
it's
yellow.
green.
And it's the first time that I've had the proportions right. The handle's a bit small. I'll make it bigger next time, but I like the foot that I did.
Very good.
Yeah, it's quite kind of just, yeah, it's nice that you see it differently when you see it on screen somehow.
Yeah, yeah. And well, it's nice that you can trust the handle as well.
Oh God, don't say that. I never said I can trust the handle. I just said I like my mug.
I'm sure if I made it, I'd be thinking, you realise I made this. It looks great. It's great.
That's funny.
So going back to your busyness, talk me through, I'm interested, because if Chris says you do this a lot, I'm interested. Talk me through what you did, like the process of, yeah, just talk me through as much of it. I'll just ask questions as you go.
Okay. So it started in the morning because Chris hadn't been feeling, he thought maybe he was getting what I've got, and he's a bigger baby than I am at getting ill. So on Wednesday when I woke up, I was feeling better than the day before. Not 100%. I knew it wasn't 100%. Of course I did, but I was feeling better. So I got up and let the chickens out, fed Hopper, fed the boys. And then he came downstairs and I thought, oh, I might as well just get on with it. I'll go feed the goats and the alpacas. And I was moving slowly, and I could feel I was getting a bit hot and sweaty, but I thought, look, I'm actually able to do it, whereas the day before I couldn't even do it. And I liked the fact that I could do it. So I went out and fed everybody. I put a beanie on, even though it's not particularly cold, but I put a beanie on my jacket and stuff. And I came back and he said to me, oh God, you like a, I don't know, you're such a busybody this morning. And I said, well, I'm just grateful that I'm feeling better, but not better as in I was completely better than I'd felt the day before. And I was still feeling tired. Yeah, now that I think of it, I was feeling still tired and run down, but I just had a bit more energy than I had the day before. I put in laundry as well. And then he left. I had the dogs. I meditated, which was the first time in like 5 days or something. And that was a good indication also that I'm feeling better. And then I came down. I've been enjoying your journal. I wrote in my journal, set myself up for the day, put my phone aside, which I love that I'm doing now. And I had emails to respond to. I had another client come back to me and say, we enjoyed the talk. What else can you offer us? That came in on Tuesday, on Monday. So I wanted to address that. I cancelled going into the garden centre because that's physical work and cold, and I'm outside, and I certainly didn't feel that I could do that. But I felt that I could do stuff at home, and I got dressed, which is a big deal. Tracksuit bottoms, tracksuit top, or whatever. But at least I wasn't in my pajamas still, like Tuesday. And then really my busyness was that, replying to emails, putting proposals together, just replying to emails that I hadn't got round to on Monday. Somebody else wanted a workstation assessment. Another client wanted to just chat and talk about one of their staff members. So yeah, it was productive. And apart from feeding the goats and the alpacas, it wasn't physical. I'm making excuses. I didn't do anything that was physical. I was comfortable, I was warm, I was in front of my computer. Takes time and effort, I suppose.
So sitting in front of your computer, how many of the things that you did you have to do, and how did you break up the day doing it? If you're saying you spent a lot of the time in front of the computer because, and you were physically warm, but how often did you break, and what did you do that was additional to what you had to do?
Yeah, probably not. Yesterday I did because I was feeling shit. So yesterday I added in nice things like candles and music. But Wednesday I didn't. In hindsight, I probably... Oh, Wednesday. Okay, that's now I can see. We have a cleaner on a Wednesday. She's a friend of ours. And she comes at 10 o'clock, and I was dressed and ready. I was really starting at my computer by then. And it was lovely to see her because I haven't been out the house for, quite a few days, and we really like each other, and we usually walk together and we miss each other. So, and I'm usually at work on a Wednesday and I don't get to see her. So it was really lovely, had a catch up. I got on with work. She left. Couple of hours later, I took a break. I had a cup of tea with her. When she left, I made myself a sandwich for lunch, and then I just came back, and I was probably sat here for another, I suppose, on and off 3 hours, with the dogs barking and getting up and making tea and going to the loo. But I didn't really do anything else other than work, as in my OT admin stuff.
So when you had lunch, where did you have the lunch?
I made what did I do? Oh, I sat on the opposite side of where I'm sitting now because I was cold.
Yeah.
And I have because I'm at a dining room table.
Yeah.
And I've got two of the chairs just stacked against the wall on the opposite side so that I have space, and it's warm there. It's against the radiator. So I sat there, and I think I was on my phone looking at social media probably while I was eating.
Okay. All right then. So you did have a screen in front of you, and in terms of all so you fairly, apart from going to the loo and making cups of tea, you worked consistently for a couple of hour blocks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And at what point had you completed all the essential catch-up things, do you think? Because you said you wrote proposals. Did you need to do those?
Probably. Well, I mean, that couldn't have taken all day. So now I'm not sure what I was doing all.
Well, it could do. No, it could do.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So thank you for that, because and I was I had two particular emails with newish clients that I really needed to get the wording right and stuff. So yeah, you're right. The stuff does take time. I think I probably finished everything at around 4, and then I thought I'll go feed the animals now while I've got energy still, and then Chris doesn't have to do it when he gets home, because normally the goats and alpacas, everybody will be fed at the end of the day when it's getting dusk or whatever. But and of course it's lighter now at 4, it's still daytime. But I went and did it, and then when I came back I just thought, yeah, okay, I think that's it now.
Yeah.
And then I ran, and then I was out of energy. Then I went and lay on the sofa with the dogs, and I think I was looking at pottery videos or something on my tablet.
Okay, so
yeah,
there's a lot of unpicking to do. So going back to, I'm sure we've talked about this before, lists. Like how many things are on your list?
Yes, so the list thing is really helpful, Shirley. I'm so glad you told me about the breaking down and stuff. So okay, so initially when I wrote down my goals for tomorrow on Monday's page, I had, it was reply to 3 emails, and they were quite big ones that were going to take time. Tuesday came, which was the day when I spoke to you, and I really had run out of steam on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and I made a decision that it was fine to leave those emails. It's
Yeah.
work, but I don't
Yeah.
have to respond immediately, so I will do it the following day.
Yeah.
And then I did break them down. So then we get to Wednesday. This is interesting because I'm saying I felt so great. Oh no, that's Thursday. Oh, Wednesday I felt so great I didn't write anything down. Okay, so I looked at Monday's list and I had 3 emails and I knew what I had to, and I broke them down into what I need to address in those emails. So I did just do, I did the 3, and then I suppose I also worked, I can't remember, I suppose I also, yes, because it says draft, I will started working on my, I've got a new talk on Tuesday for this client that I'm doing the stress management training for, and they booked another talk for this month and for next month. So, and that's a new talk that I'm putting together that I haven't given before. So I'll probably spend some time on that on Wednesday as well because I was feeling good.
Okay. So is that the key thing, that you've been writing down your task list, but you didn't because you thought, I've got loads of energy, I don't need to do that? Or
probably what happened on Wednesday, because I was feeling so good, is that I did the 3 things that I wanted to do on my list, but then I did more.
right, but you didn't write any of them down?
No.
Okay. So that's the important thing. You to maintain control, especially like in this time of life when there's and you've already said there were the animals, there was the laundry, there's there's all these other things, and everything going on in your head, constant decision making. To not write things down, I guarantee it means you're building in more decision-making processes and actions than you might otherwise had you written it down.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Because yesterday was one of those days, okay, I wasn't feeling good yesterday, but yesterday was one of those days that I felt slightly overwhelmed. I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. I felt like I wasn't concentrating on one thing. And I sat here, I'm actually on Thursday's page now. I sat here and I thought, oh my God, but have I done anything today? And then I wrote down what I have done. And it was laundry. I did the survey for one of my clients, chickens out, fed the dogs, fed Hopper, fed the goats, collected eggs. I have to go look in the goat house and scrap around in the hay because one of the chickens insists on laying her eggs in the goat house. And that made me chuckle because I was feeling like I haven't done anything and I'm not getting anywhere. And actually, I've done shitloads.
Yes.
And I did remember yesterday, which is another reason I was off my axis yesterday, was that the day was working me. I wasn't working the day around me. I only got a grip on it kind of halfway during the day. And that is probably that, and that you have taught me is, honestly, those are 2 pieces of gold. The making the day work for me and breaking down my lists, and I know that I often will do things on my list and then will either add things on at the end, which you think, well, this is good, it's 2 o'clock and I've finished the 3 things I should do, so I can do more. That's the thinking behind it. So it's either add more things on or get distracted between number 1, 2, and 3 and do another 2 things in here and another 1 thing in here. I need to at this stage of my life, I think. I don't think this is a given for everybody, but at this stage of my life, I think I need to concentrate on exactly what I have said I will do and not deviate unless it's completely necessary or something for me. But
yeah, because other people will be your external distractions. You don't need to join that party. Like, your job is to chart the course of the ship as much as possible. You can't stop the storms or the wind or any of that stuff, but your job is to navigate. Just choose where the feck you're going, set the course, and do your best. Okay, you're going to have to rechart a little bit, but don't be the one that goes, oh, that island over there looks nice, why don't we go and have a look? It's like, no,
yeah,
that's not on the,
yeah.
no, we're
And
not
I
going
think
there.
that's what was happening to me yesterday. I mean, I did do more work on the talk, and I listened to a couple of TED talks to help me with it, and that was nice. But I could feel myself running out of steam and energy because I had done more than I said I was going to do. As well. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you think that, you put 3 things on your list and you get them done, and then you think, well, great, now I can add more. But maybe for this stage in my life, that's when that doesn't work. It works when you're younger because you can do it. Yeah, maybe I need to give myself a break. I forget how much there is to do here, and how many other things and people and animals take up my time and my energy. It's almost like I'm always wanting to prove to myself that I am doing something, that I am busy,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
What is, so you say you're at a 7. Do you know what a 10 looks like? When we talked a bit about goals on Tuesday, but what might a 10 look like?
A 10 would look like boundaries firmly in place. A 10 would be no overwhelm. A 10 would be automatically, naturally, I don't know if those are the words, cutting myself some slack, not being so hard on myself. That's interesting. I can't stop smiling when you say, what would a 10 be like? You could see my face, because I hadn't actually considered what a 10 would feel like. A 10 would be secure in myself. I want to say 100% secure in myself.
Okay, brilliant. But we want to move that further forwards to make it more real and more concrete and something very tangible.
What did I say? Boundaries in place?
Yeah, just hold back on the notebook for a moment.
Okay.
I know you love to take notes. I was very nearly going to say to you, right, no notebook on Fridays. And I'm still tempted to say that because Tuesday is a kind of a note-taking sort of a day. Friday, I want you to be connecting with yourself and not, I get, you know, I know loads of people, trainers will go, when you write it down, you embed it. But this is not learning. This is being.
I like it. No, I like it. I like it.
So you've got the recording anyway, and I will at the end, if you still feel like, no, tell me. But we want to put more flesh on the bones of that. We want to know, well, what does that look like? What does that feel like to have boundaries firmly in place? Where? Boundaries around what?
Boundaries around my time. It's this thing of making the day work for me.
Yeah.
Putting myself first. Okay, a concrete example would be, and I do ask Chris, and Chris does do it, but I could do it more, make it more equal. Sharing the role of feeding the animals. And that makes it sound like he doesn't ever. He does. He certainly does. But I know it falls to me more than him. And yeah, and that's interesting because I think that's because I'm a woman and he's a man, whereas he would say, "Well, you've been at home today. I've been at work." Which is interesting because I'm never at home just lying around doing nothing. So it doesn't matter, I feel, whether I'm at home or not.
No. Do you say that?
He hasn't said it out loud that is why. And he's very good. I mean, I'll be on the sofa and he'll come in and he'll say, "Oh, what are we going to have for dinner tonight?" Not thinking, "Have you done anything?" but just asking. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what I feel like." I'm like, "What are you going to make?" And he's like, "Dude, I've been at work all day." I'm like, "I know, go get into the kitchen." And then he goes and he makes something. So he's not I don't know what kind of man doesn't play his part, but he's not like that. But I probably hold off asking him and I could ask him more.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons I don't ask him more is because, you know, he's a grumpy git sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just not, I feel, worth it. But that comes back to keeping my dad happy and pleasing everybody in the family around me. And actually, if he wants to huff and puff and moan and go feed them, then let him do it, because I have to do it.
Yeah. So if you were a 10 and you had firmer boundaries, you would confidently express yourself without any emotion in it, just, you know, and you might even come to an agreement, like you do the animals in the mornings, I do them in the evenings, or you do them Mondays, I do them Tuesdays, you do them Wednesdays, I do, or
and we do for a bit, and then it falls away. And also because it's been winter, it's easier in the summer, because then regardless of who's at work that day, we get home and it's light enough that one of us, you know, either of us can do it. Whereas for instance, when I was working in London, I'd only get home at 9 o'clock at night, so he would do the evenings because he would get home while it was still light.
Whose animals are they, by the way?
I'd like to say they all his. The alpacas were here. He wanted the goats. When I met him, he wanted the goats, and I said, oh yeah, that's cute, that sounds lovely, or whatever, not thinking it through. And he says, oh, I wanted them just as much. But really, if I wasn't so new in the relationship, I wouldn't have, you know,
Yeah.
I would go for cats and chickens. Those
Yeah.
are my things, because they don't tax, you know, the same reason I don't want kids. So the dogs are his, the cat is mine. I was the one who wanted chickens. He didn't want chickens. Now he loves them. Um, but even with the chickens, because they are mine, he will open up in the morning or put them to bed at night, but he doesn't collect the eggs, and he doesn't, their house has to be cleaned every day, because you won't believe how much chickens poop.
I would, yeah.
So they have a very small house where they nest and lay their eggs, and they sleep overnight, and then they're out during the day. And that little space, every single day, I put on a glove and I go and I pick up poop and I put down fresh. And I don't really mind, because I really wanted them, and I love them. And I know that if I was really ill and I couldn't do it, he would do it if I asked him. But I don't mind doing it, because they're mine.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wanted
What about
them.
the alpacas?
The alpacas came with the property when he bought the house. The alpacas were here. I don't think he thinks things through. I mean, after we got the goats, about 6 months later, he said he's always wanted a donkey. And there's a donkey sanctuary or whatever. And in order to get a donkey, you have to go do like a 1-day donkey course or whatever. And my nephew, my sister's child, was visiting from Austria. He was quite young at the time. He was maybe 9 or something. And I said, do you want to come with me for this training course? And we're going to see if we want a donkey. So we went and did the training course for the day, and we picked up poop, and we led the donkey, we brushed the donkey, whatever. And I came back, and Chris said, that's great. So like, when are we getting a donkey? And I said, we're not. And he said, why? I said, because it is so much work, and I know who's going to have to do it. So if the goats had happened at that stage, I probably would have said no as well. But they happened I wasn't living here yet. Actually, no, I was living here yet, but they happened so early in the relationship that I suppose I didn't think it.
Right. So if we go back to your 10, just being concrete with your examples, you would express things without second guessing, or
I would express things without, I think what stops me from expressing sometimes is his reaction.
Right. What if you just said what you wanted to say, though, irrespective of his reaction? What would you say? What might you say?
Oh, and I do, you know, we came back from Rhodes last year, and okay, this is a good example. We came back from Rhodes last year, and I just thought, you know what, I'm so fed up of lying in bed in the morning, who's going to get up, who's going to get up, who's going to get up, and then I end up getting up. But I thought, just fuck it, I'm not even going to ask him anymore. And I did it for about a month, and boy, did the resentment grow daily. But I just got up, let the cat out, let the dogs out, because they need to wee in the morning, and the cat is, you know, biting my hair from 6:30. And I fed the goats, because I was so fed up of saying, can you feed the goats? And then he'd say yes, and then he wouldn't till later, and they bleating in the background or whatever. So I did it for a month. I thought I was fine with that. I thought that was a really good thing. Like, just take control, and you do it and manage it. But I ended up being very resentful, because after a few weeks I was quite tired, and I just thought, it's not fair, you just lying in bed while I'm doing everything. So I said to him, I said, we need to change things up. I said, you know, I thought I can do it all the time. I said, but I don't want to, and I can't, and I need help. And he just said, yeah, that's fine. And the next morning he got up and did it. And I think I've realized with him, and I don't know if it's all men, I've realized with him, Maybe women do it as well. I don't know. He'll let me get away with it or do it as much. He'll get away with it as much as he can. And maybe it's because men have brought up by their mothers, so their mothers do everything for them, and then he was married before and maybe she did everything.
But coming back to you, because there's been a hell of a long bloody detour going on about him. You know, he's not here. I'm not coaching him.
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, I know. I think we've identified the problem here. So this is, if I wasn't sitting here listening, this is the bloody dialogue going on in your head.
Yeah.
No wonder you're fucking stressed.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. It's, oh, thank God for you. Okay, what was the question?
What, if you're a 10, what do you say?
Go feed the fucking goats.
Okay, right. Go feed the fucking goats. There we go. Right. Concrete example. You're not committed to carry out any of the things that you say, but what I want you to do is get clear about what they look like, and you might change your mind about what that looks like, but you've got to get clear. What does it look like when I'm a 10? Do I clearly calmly, I don't sit on it for ages, I don't second guess, I don't think about his mother and how he's brought up and blah, 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 blah. I just say, feed the fucking goats.
Do you know, when you put it like that, it makes sense.
Yeah.
To hear the feedback is really his mother. Why am I talking about his mother? I've never met his mother.
Yeah, of course. Just focus on you. So I want us to get a little bit of time, but there were some other things because we might not get through all of them. We may have to run this over to next week, which is fine. We've got time. But one of the other things you talked about, so we got the first one, like boundaries, example of boundaries, concrete behavior, go and feed the fucking goats. Right, nice. No overwhelm. What does no overwhelm look like? What does that mean? If you're not overwhelmed, what are you?
I think I'm focused if I'm not overwhelmed.
So if you're focused, what are you focused on? Remember, you're a 10. Not a 7, a 10.
I'm focused on the task in front of me.
And what is the task in front of you when you're a 10?
I want to say me.
Okay, and if it's you, the task in front of you is you, what are you doing when you're a 10?
Doing stuff that I want to do, not that I have to do.
Example?
Pottery.
Yeah. What else?
Going on walks with my walking group.
What else?
Riding my motorbike.
What else?
Meeting friends for lunch, for breakfast, post-COVID.
Yeah. What else?
Oh, sewing machine, sitting and sewing.
What else?
Being outdoors in nature.
What else?
Oh, going on holiday somewhere hot and beach and fucking palm trees or something.
Do you work when you're a 10? Paid, as in paid work?
Yeah, that's interesting. That didn't come up. Very interesting. Huh, that's interesting. I don't feel that my I don't know how to answer that.
And you don't have to right now. It might be, it doesn't necessarily mean that work isn't part of your 10. It doesn't necessarily mean that this work isn't part of your 10. But thinking about what 10 looks like can help you come at it from a different angle. Because what can happen is, even when we talked about, you wanted to do this for a long time, and you did it, you got the exam. Sometimes there's a habitual thing that when something becomes work, it's like not an enjoyable thing anymore. Even if we do enjoy it, we kind of lost whether we do or we don't. It becomes confusing and difficult to separate. You don't have to do that now, but if I use an example from my experience, I did a similar thing of, what do I want to do? And I've come up with all these lovely things, and it was spending more time with friends and being outside and very, very similar kinds of things. And work was most definitely not in there. Writing wasn't in there. None of that stuff was in there because that was work. And I can't remember at what point, but I don't know whether I perhaps fully embraced it and just go, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing what I want. And I suddenly thought, actually, if someone says I don't have to do this, I'm quite happy to sit down, to do some writing, to, I would naturally probably coach someone if you just sat down next to it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, one guy got the most amazing response from me. We just sat next to each other at an informal out for a pizza once, and I got an email a year later saying I changed his life. So I began to realize, actually, there's some things that I like doing, but I've told myself I don't like doing because I've associated them with something is a have to and a must to and a should. So you don't have to do anything with that right now.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And you might go, actually, no, it really is. It's the pottery. It's the creative stuff that might take you there.
The truth is, I enjoy, I've got, so my work has changed, as you know, because I lost, we lost London in COVID, so I don't massage anymore. And I don't do as many workstation assessments as I used to. I enjoyed both of those things. And I was actually thinking about it last night. I mean, the massage, the chair massage that I did in companies is the most consistent thing I've ever done. I did that for 16 years, and there must be, and I wanted to unpack that. I was thinking of it in bed last night. What is it about that specifically that I enjoyed so much that I've carried it on? Because consistency hasn't always been key in my work. But I do enjoy the garden centre a lot because it's physical. You wear shorts in the summer. I'm surrounded by beauty and plants. I'm learning names. I'm learning how to look after them. I work alongside colleagues who are really skilled and experienced. They've got lots of years behind them of looking after plants. So I'm learning a great deal, and I love being outdoors. I love it. So I really do like working there. My job on its own is just a lot of physical working and packing and moving things around. So it's not like a particularly skilled job, but the whole of it of working with colleagues and absorbing information and learning is wonderful. I really enjoy that. And my mental health stuff at the moment, no, I don't particularly like prepping for a talk or the course or a new workshop, because you know, it's hard work, I suppose, but once it's done and I deliver it,
Yeah.
once I've got the work written up, this is the hard part now, which I
Yeah.
always struggle with. But once I start doing the delivery, I enjoy it. I love the interaction between people. I'm a natural at it. You know, Chris reminded me this morning, he said, yeah, you've got to write it up and it takes time and effort and work, and you know, you feel a bit uncomfortable with it. He said, but once you've got the workshop written up, he said, you're going to deliver it 5 or 6 times to this one company.
Yeah.
He said, that's it, the work's done. You know, you just have to deliver, then you get to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's true. So I do enjoy both those things, but it is interesting that when you were saying the 10, I was just thinking of all the kind of fun stuff.
And that's normal, and that's what I want you to do. Don't stop doing that. Do stay in that vein of thought. I want to give you a chance to sit down and relax. I just want to say one final thing, connecting what you do when you're doing computer-based stuff and thinking and training stuff versus pottery and outdoor stuff. If you think about it, in fact, this might help all of us. When you're outdoors doing physical things, you can only do one thing at a time. You know, like it just would be insane to try to clear out the goats at the same time as collecting the chicken's eggs. I mean, you'd make a bit of a pig's ear of it. You know that when you're doing physical stuff. But when you do the mental stuff, you kind of apply a different rule set. We apply a different rule set. We go, oh, no, I'll just do this and I do that. And then we wonder why we get overwhelmed and tired, because we're not applying the same rules. Whereas you would actually be just as productive, probably more so, and maybe even enjoy it more if you apply the same rule set to yourself when you're doing that other stuff. One thing.
That's very true. I've enjoyed the less overwhelm and doing of the work with less distractions. So, you know, it's been quite a few weeks now already that I either turn my phone off completely, but I'm waiting for a call. So I've got it, but I've got it out of sight. I've just got the ringtone up so I can hear it if it rings. That has been huge. And also on my laptop, I've disabled, I just put Facebook back on today for you, but I've disabled that in my Yahoo account, because otherwise, you know, I'm on the screen and I'll quickly check. So things like that. So that kind of stuff really helps. But I think maybe just talking to you today, the next step is to get back on that list, which I do and I'm applying, but maybe I've fallen off a bit. The list thing of being really clear about what it is I want to achieve today, what needs to be done today. Do that. But then also when that's done, whether it's 12 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe that's the work day done. Then just do, you know, whatever fun stuff that I want to do, or you
get the reward. Right, I want you to go and sit in the other chair.
I need to quickly wee.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right, it's going to be woefully short today, but I think we've done some good stuff. So I think,
Absolutely. Today
yeah.
has been wonderful.
And I'm going to plant a seed as well that I want you to take through the next week. So I want you to imagine that next week, when I ask you the number, it's going to be 8. And just hold the thought, you know, as you travel through the day, and just the thought is why? Why will it be 8? How will it be 8? That's all you have to think.
I like that.
Yeah? Okay, right. You get yourself comfy and warm. Are the dogs likely to be coming in?
No, thank God. I packed them off with Chris today.
Oh, good. Okay, right. So just get yourself nice and snug and comfortable and just feel the warmth of that lovely soft blanket. Maybe picture the elephants on it. And enjoy the fact that you're sitting in the light and there's nothing whatsoever for you to do except what you're doing right now. Nothing. Nothing at all. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to think. But you can think. The wonderful thing about having nothing to do is you can do anything. Think anything, imagine anything, feel anything. But there's nothing specific to feel or to do or to think. Just allowing your thoughts and the sensations in your body to go where they choose to go. To celebrate the beauty of learning about the way your mind and your body flow. Being increasingly aware of what works for you. Just open to the experience, the beauty of physical connection, allowing learning to flow through every part of your being, allowing you to expand your sense of place, natural place, allowing yourself to become aware of automatic shifts within your body, allowing yourself some slack, noticing where you feel ease, being aware of the change and the subtleties of language that connect with sensation and feeling. If you're not being so hard on yourself, where's the softness in your mind and your body? Just allow yourself to go, learning as you go, not thinking, but feeling the experience, the physical experience of simply sitting and being secure in yourself, naturally settling into this place, allowing a little imagination, if you choose, to focus in an effortless, easy, soft way, rather than the task at hand, aware of the sensations, the pottery, the physical sensations of the learning, touching the clay, learning as you move and allow the sensations through your fingers and your hands to inform your entire body, your mind, your senses, your entire being, walking, feeling the air on your skin, the light on your face, the aromas all around you, fragrances, senses alight and alive, learning, connecting physical sensation with beauty and learning and experience, indoors or outdoors. Or perhaps noticing the sensation when you're on your bike, that connection of woman and machine, a feeling of curious oneness, synergy, symmetry, sensation and feeling, learning, gathering experience, beauty. feeling the outdoors and the light feeling different, the air on your skin so much different, even skin not exposed, feeling the sensation of air and movement and speed. Or easing back into a place where you simply meet with friends and talk and laugh. Easing back and sewing together all of the images and sensations and feelings with no intention, just exploring and learning and engaging with experience and beauty and physicality, expressing yourself through learning about how you feel, about what you want, hearing yourself saying calmly, clearly, expressing yourself how you choose to express, feeling, making your day work for you. Any day, every day, feeling solid in yourself, work the day for you. Thinking about what a day without overwhelm looks like. What do you do? What do you feel? Where do you go? What do you say? How do you express yourself? Focusing only on you, for you, your feeling, your learning. And plant the seed. Next week, you'll be an 8. And what does it feel like? And what do you do? And what do you learn? And what do you experience? And where's the beauty? And how do you express yourself? Just plant the seed and allow it to grow. So take some breaths now, as if breathing were new, and reconnect with the feeling of the softness of the blanket and the light from the window and the sound of my voice. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and maybe stretch a little.
Or stretch a lot.
A lot, yeah, I love it stretch.
That was good.
Yeah, a bit short and sweet.
Very good. I like them.
Good.
I could sit there for an hour and listen to your voice saying amazing, wonderful things all the time.
So very quickly, you don't have to write it down now because you can always play the video forwards once it goes up, but I don't think it really matters. The key things when it was your 10 is thinking about what do your boundaries look like? Where are they? What does it look like when you don't have overwhelm? What does it look like when you're cutting yourself some slack? Where? With whom? Doing what? If you're not being so hard on yourself, well, what are you doing? It's just connecting those examples of you being secure in yourself with what? Give me examples. And when I say give me, I don't mean me, I mean you.
Yeah. I like that. It's the specificity, isn't it? That's what it good Lord. It's the specifics. That's what it is. Yeah. That's really lovely. It's something that I've just never really considered or thought about before. We make these grand statements, I don't want to feel overwhelmed, but not of how would that happen, or what would it look like, or what would you do if? And I just love all those questions. It really allows you to dive deeper into. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. I mean, it's what your brain needs. It's just sitting there waiting for an instruction.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like that. Thanks, Shirley. That was really lovely. I'm set up for the and I'm not working this weekend because they've changed my weekends at the garden centre, so yay. Actually, I probably wouldn't have gone tomorrow anyway, but it's nice that I don't have to go. And
Yeah.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yes. Have a lovely weekend. And
Thank you. You
enjoy
too.
stuff. Yeah. Take
All
care.
right. I'll see you then. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye,
Bye.
Rose.